Hi, my name is Anne. Thank you for coming to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about how to protect your phone while you are traveling. I recently read that in London, there are approximately 200 phones stolen per day. And London definitely is the hot spot for having a phone stolen, but it can happen anywhere. And I thought I would share with you my strategies that I use to make sure that my phone is secure and hopefully prevent it from being stolen. Let me start off with what you absolutely don't want to do. You do not want your phone or anything that you don't want to lose in your back pocket. That is the worst place to put something. And at least where I'm from here in the United States, people carry their wallets and their phones and all kinds of valuable things in their back pockets. And you absolutely cannot do that when you're traveling. That is the first place someone is going to look to pickpocket you. The other thing you don't want to do is have a phone just sitting out on a table. Let's say you're at a restaurant and you sit down and you just put the phone in front of you. We do that all the time where I am from. Pickpocketing and phone theft really isn't a big deal where I live, but in places where that is a problem, putting the phone out there by itself, unattached to anything, is a recipe for disaster. And that happened to a student of mine on a study abroad trip that I did a couple of years ago. You may think that if you're inside at a restaurant, you're fine. And you might think, well, if I'm on an outdoor cafe, yeah, sure. If I'm right by the sidewalk, I want to make sure my phone isn't just sitting out. But that's true inside too. And that's what happened to my student. And what happened to her is a really common tactic that thieves use to get your phone. So someone came into the restaurant, came up to their table and was talking to them. And while she was talking to them, my student set her phone down on the table. And so what the thief then did was put a piece of paper, sometimes it's a newspaper or a flyer or just some sort of paper on top of her phone. And then when the people at the table basically told her to leave, she grabbed the paper and the phone and ran out the door. And my student knew immediately what had happened. And fortunately for her, she had a really good attitude and dealt with it really well. But think of how devastating it would be if your phone is stolen and how much of your life you run through your phone, especially when you're traveling. It is your camera. It is your map. It might be your transportation card. It's your money in many instances if you're using, your Apple Wallet or something like that. So losing a phone can absolutely ruin your trip. So that's why I think the things I'm going to share today are really important. So the main rule that I use is my phone is either zipped away in a purse or a bag, preferably with locking zippers. I did do a video recently on the travel bags that I love. I will link that below if you have not seen it yet. And I talk about what features I look for in an anti-theft travel bag. So my phone is either zipped into that bag, so it's never just in an open pocket or an open pocket of my bag. It is zipped away if I'm not holding on to it. Otherwise, it is attached to me. I'm never holding the phone just by itself without it being somehow secured to me. You may think, well, I'm holding onto my phone, it's fine. But another thing that people do is you're walking along a sidewalk and someone comes up in like a motorbike or something and rips it out of your hand. That happens. So again, it's always either locked into my bag or it is attached to me. So how do I attach it to me? I'm going to show you a couple of different examples with cases, and I'm recording on my phone, so I'm just going to show you the empty case, but obviously a phone would go in there. So first, this is just your regular kind of phone case. And this is what I first used when I was protecting my phone. I've moved on to something I think is better, but this is probably the cheapest option because it'll work with whatever case you already have. So what you end up ordering is like a piece of fabric that you put on the bottom, and then a little loop sticks out the hole where your charge port goes. So you put that little piece of fabric in here and then put your phone in on top of it. And so that secures the fabric, and then you have the loop that comes out. And what you attach to the loop is a lanyard. So this is the lanyard I used with that one. You see it's got a clip. and then you can either put it crossbody, or if I was taking a selfie, I would take it out and I'd wrap it around like this and then hold it out in front of me. So it was always attached to me. There's a couple things I didn't like about this setup. First of all, that piece of fabric felt flimsy. The loop got a bit stretched out, and this has only one point of contact. So it contacts right here in the middle. So if I was doing it crossbody, it was fine, but sometimes I would just loop it around my neck like this, and just having the one point of contact just put a lot of pressure on my neck and my shoulders, and I didn't like that. So I was looking for something different. So what I ended up finding instead was this case. And it has a wallet in the back that I really like. It does make it a bit heavy, but I like that this wallet I can put in here, just a small amount of cash. I can put, if I have a hotel with like a key card, I can put the key card in here, a debit card, a credit card, just what I need for the day. And then if this were to get stolen, it only has those few things in it, and I have all the rest of my money and cards somewhere else. But the way I am wearing my phone, I feel like it's not likely to get stolen unless I am careless and, again, just set it down somewhere. So what do I like about this particular case? So first of all, obviously the phone goes in here, but what I like is it has the rings. Let's see if I can. It has the rings that are attached right to the case. So these are more of a metal, which I think is more secure than the fabric one that I had in this other kind of case. And so it also has, you can see, 2 points of contact. So if I am wearing it just hanging around my neck, it doesn't feel like it's putting quite as much strain on my neck as one point of contact would. But what I really like about this one is it came with 2 different straps. So there's this long strap that I can use crossbody, and I do, but there's also a wrist strap. And so again, if I'm taking this off to take a selfie, I just put the wrist strap on and take the selfie. Also, if I'm just going out for a short time, maybe I'm going to an event or I'm going to the grocery store, something where I'm not going to be running around a city all day, I take the longer strap off and I just carry it with the wrist strap. And then I use the back as my wallet, and that's all I'm carrying then. I don't have anything else with me but this. And so that works out really well if I'm going somewhere where they maybe don't want bags to be, or again, if I'm going out for a short period of time, this works really nice. So I will have this one linked below. The ones you can get that go with a regular phone case, I won't link one of those. There's a million of them on Amazon. There's lots of them. Just look for what you think will work for you. But the things I definitely recommend looking for, even if you don't want the wallet, are that there are secure rings that are part of the case itself rather than fabric, and that it has 2 points of contact. I think those are the 2 things that I think are the most important. What kind of lanyard you have, whether it has a wrist strap. Again, if it doesn't have a wrist strap, you just wrap it around your wrist. So those are the things that I recommend for a phone case. The biggest thing is, again, you just want it to be secure at all times so that you're not one of those 200 people per day in London, and plus elsewhere, of course, that ends up with your phone stolen. That would really ruin a trip. It would ruin mine. I'm really impressed that my student handled it so well, and I don't know that I would have handled it as well as she did. So that's my advice for phones. Again, if you want advice on travel bags, I have that linked below. If you have any questions about phones or you have suggestions for what you like to do, I welcome seeing those below. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.